I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. It is Tuesday, November 4th. I can't believe it's November already, but it is. We are here live. It is time for the Power Hour. I understand Bruce is getting a little dental work done this morning, so we're certainly having more fun than he is. I don't believe he's going to be with us today. So, Eric, it's just us, the dynamic duo.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am recovering.
Yeah, that was probably a long trip you had.
Oh, boy, was it. It was good in a lot of ways. It was long and hard in some ways. But overall, it was a great event. The event itself, the one-day CMC we did was a lot of fun for me. This is my third year being at NASTC, and I'm a little more involved every year. I was very involved this year, and that's been my best trucking event in a long time. The NASTC conference this year and the CMC combined, probably the best event I've been to since the 2018 CMC.
And I always like the NASTC show. I mean, it's only my second year doing it, but it's much more personal, more close. You get to spend a lot of quality time with people. Louisville's fun too. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
It's
hectic.
drastic.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
There's just so many people coming and going all day long, and you got a sore throat by the end of the day from talking so much, and you lose your voice by like Thursday night. And this one was just slower. It's easier. It's much more personal. I really enjoyed NASTC.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. The other thing at Louisville, I never feel like I can give each person enough time. You're always,
Yes.
you know, there's one more waiting. Somebody else wants. You always feel like you're kind of forced to cut conversations short. You don't get to spend as much time with people as you'd like. You spend the whole time talking. You're exhausted. I don't even go to the bathroom most days. I mean, I don't eat because I'm just busy the whole time, and I always feel like I'm rushing a little bit. And this show is much different than that. And here's what I'm finding. This is your second year. It's my third. Not only do you get to spend more time with people, it's the same people. So that relationship gets even deeper each year. Joe Rockovatz. Joe and I have both been in the industry forever. Joe was an owner-operator at one time, went to OOIDA for a while, left OOIDA and went to Western States Trucking Association. Now he retired from that. Joe and I have known each other for decades. We talk briefly once in a while at events. That's what's happened for years. I've had him on the show a couple times. 3 years at this event at NASTC's conference, and Joe is always a big part of it. He's on panels, so we do panels together. Each year, that relationship just gets closer and stronger. Him and I spent hours at dinner talking about trucking in the 70s and had a blast doing it. And so each year, you get to spend time with the same people. Rick Gobble is one of the, he has spent his entire life, 40 some years, I think now, in the compliance side of things. He started as a enforcement officer back when the ICC existed. And he's worked in enforcement ever since, but he's one of those people you wish everybody in enforcement was like Rick. It's practical for him. It's not a bunch of rules that have to be followed to the letter. Rick's approach is always, how do we make the streets safer? You know, common sense stuff. So he now does a ton of compliance for NASTC, and I sat next to him at a dinner, and him and I had just a great conversation. Now next year, that relationship will be stronger because of that.
Yep. It's a great chance to meet people, to network. That's the whole purpose of NASTC for us is to branch out, work, and help people. And we just had a really good time. We've met with Brad Richmond, one of our dealers up in northern Canada and British Columbia. Rusty, great guy too. We hung out with them a lot during the show and after. Mark Korsquin, we see him every year.
Yeah, that's right.
He brought us donuts.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening. But yeah, it's always nice to see the faces too. I mean, you talk to people on the phone, and even people out there listening right now, driving down the road, you hear our voices, and you get to where you make like a, I don't want to say like a character, but you build like a whole
you do.
person based,
right.
And it's based off of volume. And most people see me like, wow, you are so much better looking than I thought you would be on the radio. But it's just something to deal with every day.
see, I have the opposite issue. People walk up to me and they look around and go, "Where's Kevin?" And I'll go, "That's me." And they'll say, "Boy, you sound a lot taller on the radio."
I got a face for radio. That's why I do it, not TV.
Yeah. I am taller on the radio. I say that all the time.
That's right. My show, I'll do what I want.
Yeah. I just, there's the reoccurring relationships that just get stronger, and you have time to spend with them. We had a wild dinner the one night. Donald Broughton, did you listen to Donald on Saturday? The financial.
No, we actually had an early flight.
That's right. Yeah, Donald is my favorite speaker every year. Donald is a character. He's not your typical financial analyst. Most of those guys are really buttoned down and pretty, conservative in the way they talk, and they're analysts. I mean, that Donald is one of those wild cards. He is an analyst, but he's also one of the best presenters I've ever seen. He's so dynamic. He's all over the place. He doesn't even go up on stage. When there's a stage, he stays down on the floor. He's all over the place. The only criticism I could have of him, and it's kind of what he does, there's a lot of charts and there's a ton of data, and he goes through it so fast sometimes. But he also makes it really relatable. So he uses some analogies and you understand it, but he's really dynamic. And every year at the dinner, 3 years in a row, there's usually a dinner at the end of the event, Saturday night. And it's always in the same restaurant, the same room, and the same people. And Donald and David start drinking after the event, and it's kind of like everybody's blowing off steam. Those two continue to drink through dinner, and then they always end the night by swapping jokes. And every year it's the same jokes, but to them, it's hilarious. And the rest of us just watch them, and I want to say we're laughing with them, but in some ways we're kind of laughing at them because it's just hilarious to watch. Well, this year, they changed up the whole dinner thing. We did the big dinner on Friday night. We were at a new restaurant, by the way, which is, Lisa and I are big foodies, and we've traveled all over the country. We have our favorite restaurants, and we don't go out to eat nearly as much as we used to. But we found a restaurant that makes our top three after all these years. It was right. You walked out the hotel doors, crossed the street, and went right straight into their doors. It was called Hal's. The food was just, I could spend an hour talking about how good the food was. But we had a room over there. We liked it so much Friday night for dinner. Saturday night, nobody was really getting together this year on Saturday night. So I went over to Hal's and got takeout, and we ate it in the room. But somehow this was a table of 21 people, which is about twice what it used to be on the Saturday night. David was at one end. Donald showed up late, so he was at the other end. But it still happened that at the end of the night, those two were shouting jokes across the table at each other, which really made it wild. And they were still all the same jokes, so we knew what was coming. But it's still funny. Eric? Oh,
can you hear me?
There you are. Yeah.
Okay. I lost all your audio. I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh, well, I'm not repeating it.
Again, my show, I'll do what I want.
It was just a story about dinner and jokes. So nothing
Okay.
nothing earth shattering. It was just interesting. And I was sitting in a place in dinner where I got to talk to some new people and spend some time with people. And it was just really, for me, it was just a great event all around. A lot of good things happened.
Yeah, me too. I really liked it. It was a very productive trip.
Yeah. And I made an odd connection that I need to follow up on. You know how I've been talking about the vibe coding, and I'm getting really good at this. Like, this was made for my brain, I think. I'm trying to help developers, people who write code, like our team, figure this out and get on board, because we don't want to replace people with AI. We want AI to help all the people we work with do so much more. We all grow. That's my thought on this. And I've been hard on my development team all year saying, you guys got to figure this out. And I think they want to. I don't think their brains work this way. I think that's why they're coders and why I can't code, but I can do this, and I can do this really well. And they're not getting it. And I'm trying to figure out how we work them into this somehow. But I can't go from, I can't pass up the opportunity to, instead of paying $300 an hour for software development that takes months and months and sometimes never ends up the way we wanted it to or fails completely, I can't not go from that to writing code myself in days that does work at almost no cost. I mean, there's a point where you just can't pass up that opportunity. I can't compete if I don't, and I can see that. And not only can I compete right now, I have a huge competitive advantage in a lot of ways because I'm way out in front of this thing. But if I can't get them on board, I don't know how that's going to end. And there was a reason for that story. Now I don't remember what it was. Oh, no, I know what it was. So I talk about vibe coding a lot because it's just incredible to me what this is doing already and how much it's going to change things and what I've been able to build. So I met the guy from Dock Time. Did you talk to any of those guys? They were over in the corner next to us by the door, on the other side of the door.
Briefly.
Yeah, so really interesting guy. Connor, I think was his name, something like that.
Very bright.
Oh,
I did talk to him. Young.
Yeah, young.
Yeah.
He went to MIT, and he was in a fraternity at MIT. So that probably,
wow.
Yeah. He wanted to write code. And that was going to be his major, computer science and writing code. And he realized his brain doesn't work that way, kind of like I did. There's no way I could ever write code. But he started playing around with vibe coding. And him and I, this is like the first person that I can talk to that understands what I'm talking about and is doing it. And he's brilliant. But we got to the point, and I started showing him my software, and he's like, "You built that? Vibe coding?" He's like, "Well, you're already way ahead of me." He said, and then it turns out the tool that I use, Cursor, and Cursor is just exploding in size. They are leading this whole vibe coding thing, and there's hundreds of tools. His fraternity brother was the first employee at Cursor. There was the founder, and then his fraternity brother was almost the co-founder, kind of. So he actually was sending him a text. Like, I just met this guy who used to be a truck driver, and you should see what software he's building with Cursor. So I got to follow up on that. That could be a great connection.
Yeah, Bill was talking to Connor a lot more than I did, but I got a chance to speak to him a little bit. But very, very well-spoken gentleman.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Really sharp. Really. I guess he played basketball at MIT too. MIT has a basketball team?
I had no idea.
I mean, all I think of at MIT is a bunch of nerds, right? It's the geek squad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who goes to MIT. Their brains work differently than the rest of us. So I didn't realize they had sports teams. But somebody said him and the other guy both played basketball at MIT.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was just a great event. We had a good time on the train. That was a great ride. Although I am going to do a rant and then we'll get to calls. Here's my rant. If going to the DMV or the post office is not enough to convince you that the government should not be running much of anything, then take a ride on Amtrak. I've never seen so much wasted potential. I love the train experience. I hate the Amtrak experience. Isn't that crazy? It's your only choice, though.
Yeah.
If I want to get the train experience, I have to ride on Amtrak or go to Europe. And I guess their trains are fantastic. Canada is supposed to have at least one cross-country train that's way better than Amtrak. And I'm not surprised because it wouldn't take much to be way better than Amtrak. So I love the experience. I love the travel on the train. The trains are not very nice. They're not very luxurious. They were never meant to be. They're old, most of them. That's the first part of the experience that could get a huge upgrade. But the worst part is their attitude. There is zero customer service, none. In fact, I felt like I especially this last trip on the way back, because we had a new crew, and we've been on this train probably 6 or 7 times over the years from here to Chicago. Then we took a train from Chicago to Memphis. I've done that a couple times. This last crew was the worst, but they're all like this. I felt like I was in the military again. That's the whole experience. They're not asking you what they can do for you. They are telling you what you need to be doing or what you've been doing wrong and you better straighten up. I mean, that's the attitude on the train. Like the announcements are always, I just walked past a trash can in the lounge car and the trash can was, this is a real conversation. And I'm getting it almost word for word. The trash can was overflowing. There was trash on the floor. We all have to live on this train for 2 days, and you need to do it. There was another trash can 3 feet away, and people aren't looking. Well, it's because you disguise your trash cans, and it's not my job to figure out where you put the other trash can. It's your job to clean the damn trash can. But then they come on with the excuses. We don't have a big enough crew to pick up after you. Really? I spent $7,000 to be on this train.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And here's another announcement they like to make. Attention, please. The lounge car is now closed. Why? I thought there was a schedule. Why didn't you tell me 15 minutes ago you were closing? So if I wanted something, I could have come down and got it. But they like to make the announcement that they just closed the dining car, the lounge car. Like, too bad. We closed. Wow. You missed out. All the rules. The dining car is now open. Come down the stairs, turn to your left. There's a sign on the table. Do not advance past that sign until the person in front of you is done. I don't need everybody crowding around the counter while I'm trying to work.
Good.
Yeah,
grief.
That's what it's like. You can have your dinner, if you're in the sleeper car, you can have your dinner delivered. There's an attendant in the lounge in your car, and you tell him, I don't want to go to dinner tonight. I want you to bring dinner to us. And he takes your order. So there was one night where Lisa didn't feel like going down to the dining car, and I wanted to go to the dining car and then go to the lounge car and work. So I said, I'll go eat in the dining car and I'll have them send you your dinner. So I get down to the dining car, and they're Nazis about the way they seat you. I won't even go through all of that, but I told the server, I'm going to eat in, and, I want my wife's dinner sent to her. You have to go back and tell your attendant. I said, that's 8 cars back. We're in the last car on the train. I really don't want to walk all the way through the train to tell the attendant. I see him up here all the time during meals. Can't you just tell him? No. The proper process is you have to go back and inform your attendant that you want a takeout order. So I went all the way back through the train. I get to the attendant and I said, I'm at dinner right now. I've got to get back there because I have a reservation. You don't want to miss it. But my wife wants her dinner delivered to the car. And he said, well, just tell the server. And I said, I did. He told me I had to come all the way to and now he blows up and he's going to go. That's the whole experience. I've never seen anything like it.
That is unacceptable.
It is. It is totally unacceptable, except I put up with it because I like the whole train experience so much. And that was the worst. I will say that's the worst crew we've ever had. But they all that's the whole system. It is not designed around customer service. It's designed around, we're going to tell you how all this is going to happen. And you better follow the rules.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so appreciative for the woman that I married, because anytime we've been in a situation like that, usually my first response is, no, you look here, mother. And that's usually what my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
And usually my wife, okay, separate.
Right. Yeah.
That's unacceptable behavior. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me?
It's almost every stop. So there are some stops where the train almost doesn't stop rolling. Like our little stop here in the gorge, there's nobody there. And it's just a platform. There's no building, there's no nothing. So you stand on the platform, the train rolls up, and they just want you on board and they're going to keep going. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with efficiency, so we're ready. You know, our bags are there, we know which car we're on, we're right waiting. They're still like, come on, get that, just relax. You know, the train hasn't even stopped rolling yet. Then there are other stops where they have a scheduled stop and they might refuel, they might restock things, and they will tell you, we'll have a smoke break because people want to get off the train and smoke if there's enough time. But you got to go through the whole lecture. Do not go into the building. You can't believe how many people we've left in that building because they weren't paying attention. And we don't turn the train around and come back and get you. You're on and on and on. This is not a smoke break. Do not get off the train. Do not go down to the bottom because you're just going to be in everybody's way. It's like that at almost every stop.
You're in the customer service business. Like,
no, they're not. That's the whole point. They are not. It is just crazy.
And it's insane. I literally can't believe companies that still exist, but they do.
Well,
you hear this stuff all the time.
It's pseudo-government. Amtrak is run by the government, and they have no competition, and they act like it, and they act like government employees. And look, I don't care if you're understaffed. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money to be here. This is not a cheap experience. We do it for the experience, and it's business. I get to write it off. That still doesn't mean you just go blow money because you can write it off. But overall, it's worth it to me. For the relaxation, for the downtime, for the whole experience. I meet cool people. But this whole, the way it is run is so bad. And it's just one more reason for me to say, no, we should not let the government do anything other than what it is supposed to do in the Constitution. Seriously, get the government out of everything else. They suck at it.
Yep.
But how do you build another train service when you have Amtrak to compete against and they control, it's like a monopoly basically on passenger trains?
That's what I was just thinking. Like, okay, the government owns and operates it, and they have no competition.
Right.
Isn't that kind of like the definition of a monopoly?
Yes.
And that's not supposed to be that.
Even worse, because it's a government monopoly. That's like communism. That's why things don't work well in communist countries. That's why you had stores that were empty, the whole Russian thing, trains that didn't run at all. I mean, that's why you don't do this. But with Amtrak, we certainly have. And there are people that use Amtrak every day. There's tons of commuter trains that people use every day, and the experience is no better. I've been on those too. Oh, here's another one. Get this. From Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is the twin cities, two big cities, they only have one Amtrak stop within the metro area for both of those cities. So that's a problem to begin with. But I guess the reason is because from Minneapolis to Chicago, which is a pretty good distance, they have commuter trains that run. so they don't stop this train as much. Now that makes sense when I heard it, except for some reason they canceled the commuter train and they piled all the commuters into our train. They were putting them everywhere they could fit people. And you couldn't get in the lounge car. The dining car was a mess. And we had to deal with that from St. Paul to Chicago.
Ugh. That's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my business rant for today. That wasn't totally unrelated. That because I'm big on customer service. You guys are too. You understand that's what makes a business good. You are here to serve a customer. That's the whole point.
Yeah. That's one thing, and I'm still in awe over this sometimes. Like, I'll get a customer to call me like on a Monday or Tuesday. Hey, I was talking to Bruce Saturday night, and and I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I called around 10:30 at night. I was going to leave a message on the answering machine, but he picked up the phone.
Bruce is.
I'm like, wait, yeah. And then I'll ask Bruce. He's like, yeah, I was up to get this or that, and I heard the phone ringing. I just can't stand that. I'm thinking, God bless you, because I couldn't do it.
I have traveled with Bruce for decades now, and he does it all the time. All the time. We'll be in the middle of a conversation at 9:00 at night over dinner, and his phone will ring and he will answer it. Bruce is the antithesis of Amtrak. I've never seen a CEO like him, ever.
Me either.
That's what makes Bruce Bruce. That's why we love him. Yeah. He's one of a kind. All right. We should probably get to some phone calls. Let's, I'm sure I'll rant more. Let's go to Indiana. Matt, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I want to thank you for all the information that you provide to us.
I have
welcome. A question today.
All right.
I have a question about coolant in an 8.3 Cummins engine. I've always ran conventional green coolant with DCA 4 additive to it, and had to replace the radiator in the truck, and I'm having a hard time finding conventional green coolant. Everybody seems to carry it as universal stuff.
What year is it?
I just wanted to pick your brain.
I may have missed that.
It's a 94.
Okay.
In a Ford L8000 dump truck.
Oh, got it. Okay. I have some thoughts. I'm pretty sure Eric has some thoughts. Eric, why don't you go with yours? Because I'm trying something here.
So what year, I'm sorry, your phone cut out on my end. What year did you say it was?
A 94.
Okay. So that's definitely an ethylene glycol based engine. That's what they wanted to run in there. And you replaced the radiator, and now they're telling you to run phosphate free, or you're just having a hard time finding the antifreeze?
I'm having a hard time finding the conventional green antifreeze.
So I'm tried an experiment here. So we're going to play around with this because this is a great option. I did coffee with Kevin this morning, and on Coffee with Kevin, I do spend a lot of time talking about AI. It's a different show. It's kind of off the cuff. I don't really have callers, so it's me talking for 50 minutes. And my group seems to like all the AI talk, and they ask a lot of questions. So somebody asked this morning, how, without going deep into the weeds like you do on AI, how can we use it every day? And one of the things we should use it for, really, and I know this is almost putting me out of a job in a sense, people call me and ask me questions all the time. I have a very, very powerful new tool to be able to answer questions I may not have been able to answer before. And it's AI. And I have enough background knowledge that I can know if AI is hallucinating or if it really gave me the right answer. And I know how to dig a little deeper. It's interesting that for this specific engine, I just asked AI, and this is not my trained AI. I just threw it into regular AI to see what it would come up with. It goes through a whole bunch of stuff, but the last sentence actually says, avoid standard automotive green coolant or extended life coolants, OAT and HOT, unless specifically formulated for heavy-duty diesel use, as they lack the nitrite protection these engines need. That was the conclusion, was to avoid that standard automotive green stuff. It says you should use a low silicate nitrite-based coolant, specifically a heavy-duty diesel engine coolant that meets these standards. Contains the SCAs. It's nitrite-based for cavitation and low silicate to prevent buildup. And then it gives you some options: Fleet Guard ES Complete, Shell Rotella ELC or Ultra ELC, Peak Fleet Charge, or any coolant meeting the ASTM and TMC. Hi, I'm Kevin Rutherford. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe or leave a comment below. It really helps us get the show out to more people. If you'd like to get the show, the full show, ad-free, you can sign up with the link below.